Hello, and welcome to the Criterion Connection. I'm Wade.
And I'm Joe.
And today we are doing, I hope you all are stuffed still from turkey and all that from Thanksgiving, because we're about to watch, we're about to do Naked Lunch by David Cronenberg from 1991. It's right here. Stars Peter Weller and Judy.
Ian Holmes in it.
Ian Holmes, Judy
Davis.
Judy Davis. There you go. This was a Cronenberg. This is the second Cronenberg we did. We did The Brood a while ago, and we're now doing this movie, and I don't know how to start talking about this movie at all, so I'll leave it to you.
Oh. So you want me to talk about the plot?
It's a book by William Burroughs.
Okay, I guess I'm not starting.
I'll start. Now I have an idea where I'm going. This movie's adapted. It's kind of a story about Burroughs and his journey as a writer, but also with the Naked Lunch idea in it. And
I mean, Naked Lunch has a lot of those elements in it.
I know.
How do I put this? It's one of those movies that's very kind of Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, mixed with A Beautiful
crazy.
Mind.
Not as crazy. I like to say it's a good companion piece to Videodrome, with how these characters just delve into this world, and it's just you're like, what is going on at times?
Yeah, and there's elements of like I like to think of it as sort of like Nightbreed and like A Beautiful Mind, but just add a lot of drugs.
But it's funny because there's a documentary on here it's called Naked Make It Lunch. Mm-hmm. David Cronenberg said he started writing the movie, the screenplay, after filming Nightbreed. He got his first laptop, and
cool.
I did not know there was laptops in '91.
Yeah, they were
they're probably giant,
about the size of a tabletop. And it's a movie that really blends reality and surreality. Mm-hmm. I'm sure it's open to a lot of different interpretations.
Yeah. Because
of how weird it is and how weird it gets.
Uh-huh.
But Peter Weller plays William Lee, the protagonist of the film, who is an exterminator. And in being an exterminator, he's exposed to what they call bug powder, which, apparently starts causing interesting kind of hallucinations, maybe. See, that's the thing. Everything's got to end with a maybe at the end.
Yeah.
And basically, he starts becoming super paranoid and thinking he's a secret agent, a secret corporate espionage agent.
Because of Interzone.
Yeah, and there's this company called Interzone, and you don't know who's on whose side. It's all double, triple, quadruple, quintuple crosses.
Double agents, triple agents.
Yeah, and that's what's going on in his mind. And then you have there's this one brief moment of reality, supposedly, where his friends find him.
They find the bag of the typewriter.
Typewriter. And it's all drug paraphernalia. And they also find, they start talking about the book that he's been writing, that he doesn't remember writing.
Yeah.
Which is the book Naked Lunch, which is also kind of a bunch of vignettes based on his own drug usage and things that have happened.
Yeah.
And, Cronenberg just tries to take this crazy novel and just kind of make a story out of it.
It made kind of a story about writer's block and dealing with critics and dealing with all that stuff as a writer and stuff like that. And I'm sure Cronenberg hit that with his own movies. Mm-hmm. It gets really, really crazy.
What it's known for is the practical effects and the creatures that show up in it, which are
the typewriters and the mugwumps.
Yeah, there's the first big cockroach, then his typewriter, which turns into a cockroach, and then like all the typewriters are actually these kind of things. You have a thing called a mugwump that shows up.
Very Men in Black looking.
Yeah, and then like shows up later also as a typewriter.
Oh, that's not. I don't want to spoil the Fidela reveal.
Yeah, Roy Scheider is in this movie, and
you kind of forgot he's in the movie, and then you're like, oh, I get it now.
Yeah, it's great.
It's also kind
Roy
of
Scheider's great in this movie for like the 4 minutes that he's in it. He plays Dr. Benway, which he meets early on, who tells him about this new drug, and it's crazy. Yeah.
It's a weird jazz pulp film. It starts out like it's all pulpy and has this weird jazz, and then they mix like the Middle Eastern music to it, and it's really kind of dissonance. That's the word.
There's a great like jazz like soundtrack for the most part. It reminds me a lot of like a noir movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a weird
noir
it
takes
movie.
Noir and puts it in a drug trip.
Yeah, and that's not to forget about we forgot about the typewriters. They're actually their mouths are buttholes.
Yeah.
They're very sphincter like.
A lot of them are. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it gets even more ridiculous.
Sort of like.
The one typewriter. That oh god, what's his name? He's in the Fifth Element. He plays Mr. Frost. Is it Ian Holm?
Ian Holm.
Ian Holm. I'm sorry. His typewriter, the one it does in Arabic. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're talking about that one, right? What it transforms into.
That's a weird one.
And then you get Fidela. I'm
not really sure.
And then Fidela sees it, and you're like, wait a minute. They're not hallucinating that. Like, what is going on?
Yeah, that one might be one of the more notorious like stills that people see of like how weird this movie. Like that's the epitome of weirdness in the movie. Is that scene?
But
it kind of, given the quote unquote logic of this movie, it works.
Yeah.
Because you get like it's subliminally like taking on the form of the emotions that you're typing into.
There's a lot of, and also this movie is
because you remember she was typing an erotic story into it.
Yeah, it's a funny thing when you read what they write sometimes, because at the end when after like she goes on to see Fidela or whatever, he types on the typewriter. You see on the typewriter says the bitch queen Fidela. like you just type that up and just there's a lot of humor and it's like for instance. The William Tell scene is kind of funny, but then you realize that actually happened. He actually did accidentally kill his wife doing the William Tell,
like I said,
a trick. The author of the book actually did this.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, Cronenberg kind of made it into a humorous thing because he just like they have no clue and then like, oh, and then there's a lot of talk about writer's block about it. So, like, literally, all this shit happens, and he goes, I'm going to write my report. I have this idea, I'm going to write my report.
And in writing the reports, he's actually writing chapters of his book.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I think is a really interesting
And then Frost is like, you can use my typewriter. It doesn't work for him. And he's like, you got to give me the typewriter. I'm going to take your talent. I'm going to take your writing from you. Mm-hmm. Deals with the industry and stuff like that. And... and Frost is like, you're done. You're done in this place. You're done. And it tells a lot about that. I will say the third act is kind of tiresome. It gets, after the bug sex in the cage, I don't know, like, I think I'd, like, check myself out. It just kind of felt like, Brazil, where it just, like, the ending is just, like, where are we going? Like, you're just kind of lost.
It's like just a denouement at that point. Basically, it's him finding out the final reveal.
Yeah.
And
it ends on like a weird. I don't know what the tone of that is. Like it's.
But it's
kind of comical, but also kind of sad.
What's interesting is like that ending is him getting Jane back, and him saying, "I can't write without her." So I mean that informs a lot of the character, and the William Tell routine, the botched one, like it kind of sends him spiraling, and he's just trying to find his way until he sees her again.
Yeah.
And that's when he starts writing reports more often.
Oh, the reports.
And it's just, I don't know.
And also
that was kind of heartwarming.
Also, this movie deals with a lot of not just writer's block, but also homosexuality or bisexuality in his case. With
and struggling with it.
Yeah, struggling, and
because it's for him like there's a really great line where it says it's one of his typewriters that asks him to type the sentence, and it says homosexuality is the best kind of cover.
And then he's like, and he puts the ink back in and walks out.
Yeah, and so
he's running away from it.
Yeah, it's him trying to sit here and say no, like it's like a self-denial kind of thing.
Yeah,
and then later on, just allows him to accept it as he thinks it's part of the job or something, like where he ends up with Kiki. Yeah, and. Yeah.
And let's not forget Croquet.
What?
Croquet. The guy that said, "Check out my birds," and then they're in a cage, and you're like, "Oh, he's the guy who knows Benway."
I knew him as Eve in the movie.
Eve, but his last name was Croquet.
I don't remember his last name.
He has a wonderful car.
Yeah.
He has a wonderful car.
It's a wild ride.
Yeah. Yeah, this movie's weird.
Yeah.
But I sort of kind of love it.
Yeah.
I sort of kind of love it as Cronenberg. I have not seen a lot of his films, but this might be on the top up there. I kind of like it more than Videodrome, mostly because I think Peter Weller does a fantastic performance.
I think
compared to James Wood,
Cronenberg kind of refined the craft by this point.
Oh yeah,
because Videodrome was almost 10 years before this.
Yeah, he did The Fly right after this. It says in the it was a really good documentary on the actual Blu-ray where he's like, I used The Fly money pretty much, and
it allowed him to do whatever he wanted, and he wanted to film the unfilmable.
Yeah. Yes.
There you go.
So buy, rent, or skip, Joe.
I think if you're down for the weirdness, it's a buy.
Is that a new Disturbed song?
Yeah,
getting down with the weirdness.
It's the new Disturbed album.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
They still make music.
Yeah.
What?
I'm gonna let that one go.
Okay. So buy, rent, or skip.
I said if you're down.
You didn't finish the thought.
Yeah, if you're down with all the weird stuff that happens in it, I say it's an easy buy. I think for people that are touching their toes in the water, maybe this is one that you might want to hold off before you jump headlong into that part of the pool. Yeah.
That's a good point, but I'm gonna say buy regardless. I think even if you put your toes in it, you're still gonna watch it. And you're like, for instance, I got to see it again and again. I got to see it. I got to see it with the commentary, and
it's one of those ones that I think a lot of people probably watch it and just kind of sit there for a second, trying to process what they saw.
Yeah.
And will probably want to rewatch it to try and see
wow,
what?
What is he? I was expecting. Is this an actual drug binge? What is going on? But yeah, Peter Weller's great in this.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, he's great in this.
Everyone is great. RoboCop and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's our thoughts on Naked Lunch. I almost forgot the name of the movie we were just talking about.
Wow.
Let us know in the comment section below what's your favorite Cronenberg, and your thoughts about this movie. Is there something that we didn't point out that you know about this movie? Also, next month we are doing fan suggestions. Wait, hold on. This is not end of November yet. Anyway, December we're doing it. I don't know if we have another week, but we're still doing some. So make suggestions now. I noticed that Nicholas Rogue died a couple days ago.
Does that mean we have to do Don't Look Now?
They do Don't Look Now, Walkabout. So in the suggestion, maybe we'll do that next week. It's kind of like an honor kind of thing. So next week, we'll do that. You can suggest the movie though. So whoever suggests the most, like if you say Don't Look Now, like if we get 20 people saying that, we'll do Don't Look Now or Walkabout or whatever. Mm-hmm. We'll do whatever. We will not do the David Bowie one.
Why?
Because that's so out of print, hard to find.
I've got one.
I guess I'll borrow that one. If you vote for it, I'll borrow it off Joe, and I'll watch it because it's kind of out of print, hard to find. So,
yeah,
I want to see it. That's a movie I do want to see. So, I also want if it's available for them to watch too, if they want to watch along with us. But yeah,
mine wasn't the Criterion version.
Oh, okay, okay.
It was a recent Blu-ray release.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
So definitely look for it. I think it was either $25, $35 when I got it.
Yeah. So please make your suggestions like within the week because Film Strike ends like that night this week. So we're gonna have to.
We have to cram them in.
We're gonna cram them in as many as we can.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, let us know, please, and also hit the subscribe button so you can keep up to date. Hit the bell because they don't update you a lot. Hit the bell so you get an update every time video goes up. Sound check. We have another show that we're planning, but we're not going to reveal what that is yet. But it's going to be fun. It's a movie one. I'll say it's movie related.
Also, share the videos.
Yes, share. Spread the word of Criterion Connection and Condish. So until next time, we will see you later. I'm going to write my report now.
I need to get some bug powder.